Hey friends, I'm visiting my family, but I still thought I would get a quick video in on Genesis 4 through 7. Fascinating section. Hope you enjoy it. First of all, the story of Cain is incredible. It's a short story, but basically what happens is Abel gives his best, his first fruits to the Lord as an offering to God out of thankfulness and generosity, and Cain gives what's left over. He doesn't seem to put much thought into it, and God is pleased with the heart of Abel. And when Cain sees that God shows favor on Abel, it says he gets sad and angry, depressed and angry. His face is downcast and he's burning with anger. And God recognizes that and he says, why are you feeling this way? When you brood on these feelings of sadness and anger and you hold on to them, he says, sin is crouching at your door, you must overcome them. Now, when people get sad and angry, sometimes they internalize that. That's what I can do is you beat yourself up. You take it on yourself. Some people, when they get sad and angry, they externalize it. They take it out on somebody else. And that's what Cain does. He doesn't listen to what God says. He doesn't repent and change. He takes it out on Abel. And it's interesting, it's kind of how the story is written. Abel, his name means hevel, or it means briefness. It's the same word that's used in the book of Ecclesiastes on the brevity of life, and that's what Abel's life. His name means brief, like a vapor. And then Cain's line continues to follow that kind of destructive, self-centered family line. But then we hear about Adam and Eve having another child, Seth, and he walked with God. And I think that's a beautiful idea of what it means to be a believer. It says the same thing about Noah. He walked with God. Enoch also walked with God. What a beautiful idea of what it means to be a believer, to be in the presence with God, to be in harmony with God, to humbly submit to God, to walk with God. Then we have the story of the flood, and it's kind of strange. Oh, one thing I should mention, in chapter 5 you have the genealogy, and if you were to add up all those genealogies, Methuselah, that oldest person, he would have died the year the flood began. And so people have added those numbers up, and that kind of lets us know that the last believer was alive outside of Noah's family before the flood started. The story of the sons of men sleeping with the sons of God sleeping with the daughters of men at the beginning of Genesis 6 is still kind of puzzling to me. I've heard different ideas. Some say, oh, these are just believers, the sons of God, maybe the line of Seth sleeping with unbelievers, taking unbelieving spouses, maybe from the line of Cain. That's one idea. I've kind of held to that over the years. The other idea is the sons of God are corrupt rulers who are often rulers in the ancient world were called gods. And so you have these corrupt leaders who are heroes in the world, that the world looks at as heroes, that they have these big armies and this big power. And now the sons of men, or the daughters of men, are mixing with those kinds of people. The third one makes sense, an ancient kind of idea, but I don't know how biblical it is. But the third idea is that these sons of God are spiritual beings, like angels, and somehow mixing with humans. So I'm not sure what it is actually. It's a kind of a confusing idea. But then you have the flood, and the flood is really explained as this uncreation, how God put everything in its spot, the heavens and the earth and the water, and everything had a limit, and God breaks those limits. So hopefully this is helpful, and keep reading, don't give up.